Um, I think I'm very lucky because every day I wake up and I feel that I'm not going to work, but it's been my life. I've been doing this for 15 years, and every day is kind of sort of like I just live, and that's the wonderful part about being a part of something so amazing that you can see visibly changes. When I saw a need 15 years ago on the streets of Saigon, where kids were eating noodles and were sitting on the pavement and they were telling us their stories, and in front of me was a mother physically abusing one of her daughter, and when I spoke to her, I feel that I made an impact. So somewhere within that time, somehow I thought I could make a difference. So I saw a need and I acted on it. I would never in my wildest dream expect I would have an organization like KOTO. It's just something that came to be, and what I stumbled on is a formula that seems to work. I don't think I'm a genius, because what I did was I basically put a formula, an idea that if these kids were my own kids, I would do exactly the same thing. I would give them a sense of belonging and ownership. I would give them the necessary social skills they need to have a sustainable future, and I'll give them a lot of love and make sure that they have a family behind them. So I created that here at KOTO, and it seems to work. And it's amazing when you start to give love, and the old-fashioned love. It's amazing what miracles can happen. And every day, through the 500 stories that I've walked through these doors, that miracles happen. And the wonderful thing about this philosophy of no one teach one is that 500 kids now are helping at least 3 in their families and in their community. So KOTO, in fact, is not just helping that 500 kids, but it's helping 1,500 people. I remember a story where in Saigon, where this one particular kid was a hill tribe, and in Vietnam we have 54 ethnic minorities, and he grew up on a family that pretty much an outcast in society. So at the age of when he was old enough, he found out that he's actually not a hill tribe person. He's actually a Vietnamese, so to speak. And the mother that he was adopted, the mother that actually gave birth to his biological mother, is that mental woman, mentally disabled woman that's been picking scrap off the floor in the market in the remote area, in the mountains area, every day that he sees but never noticed. When he came to KOTO, for the first 3 months he couldn't sleep on a bed because he didn't actually know how to. And then one particular morning, in that 4 typical bunk in one room that we have in the KOTO house that we provide, it was his birthday. And his classmate thought that they'll surprise him and made him a cupcake and left it on his bed. And he woke up and looked around to make sure that no one sees, and he started to cry. And of course everyone who was pretending to be asleep actually knew that he was crying. And that whole day he took that cupcake in his hand, and he wouldn't put it in his bag, he wouldn't do anything with it. And he wouldn't eat it. And so past lunchtime, and then nearly at the end of school day, one of the teachers asked him why he wouldn't eat his cupcake. He said he just wanted to, I guess, cherish that one particular moment, because he never had a birthday before. So, and he's 19 years old. So it's that moment. He graduated now, and he's more confident. And I think and if KOTO can give him that kind of moment, yeah, I think it's important. And this is what it's about. When I started 15 years ago, yes, I would never imagine I would have an organization like this, but I'm glad that 15 years onwards, I still keep that little special moment. That's still make it special. Okay, stop. Wow, I never thought that that one trip that I do, and I do a lot of trips to Kuala Lumpur, I will meet such a gentle-hearted guy who's the general manager of, director we call him, of I student group. And I think that the most important for us is you have someone who shares your vision, who actually understands basically where you come from, where you want to go, and want to be a part of that journey. And for us, that partnership is very important, and that synergy is very important. And we found that just sitting down and talking to Paul, and immediately Paul come up with, why don't you think of this and all that kind of stuff. So what we eventually came up with, the team back in the UK has created this wonderful, amazing, number one is the e-brochure. Number two is they're putting together a corporate pack for us, hopefully get a lot of sponsorship. And number three is they're working on the iPhone apps for us, which is kind of heading towards this whole ICT and getting the technology into play. And this is a very exciting chapter for us as we grow, and we know that we have someone like iStudent behind us. It's a real confident booster, and it's a bit of that encouragement as well. Now, added to that is the thing that impressed me is not because of what they can do for Koto, but I think Paul's vision is to say, hey Jimmy, beside this, I want to actually be able to do something else. So he started this wonderful organization called Rhinocrocadillipig, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. He asked me to be a part of it, and I see the vision is a lot of my Koto kids will have a very clear pathway from low self-esteem, unemployed, Koto training program, workforce, and then further studies, and then into managers, future employers, and even own their own business as well. But not only because education is knowledge is gold, and iStudent, and together with Rhinocrocadillipig, will be able to do that, and we'll be helping a lot of kids around the world, and it's very exciting. Chinese dinner.
So, on a trip last November 2011, I was travelling down to Kuala Lumpur, one of my many business trips, and in amongst many of the people and sessions that I was involved with over a couple of days, I was fortunate enough to meet Jimmy. I was introduced by Perry, who said I may be interested in what he does. In what I thought would be a short meeting that may possibly lead on to further meetings, Jimmy luckily can speak as much as I can, so we had quite a long breakfast conversation, and he filled me in on what Koto does and his story from when he first came back to Vietnam many years ago, which inspired me when we first sat down. From that side, we went away, we discussed it again the next day, we had breakfast, and discussed some possible collaboration, and decided it'd be good for our student group to support Koto with some marketing materials and an e-brochure and an app and so on. And then moving on from there, Rhinocrocadillipig, which is a charity that we wanted to launch, as rather than reinvent the wheel to begin with, has decided to use Koto as its first beneficiary, of which we're getting more excited about now. So it's just moving on from marketing materials to how we can get involved, and now we've been here in the restaurant and training facility. We're fortunate enough to be a small part of a really great vision that was yours in the early days.
But you know what, I think it's really more important as well, is you have this very young group of upcoming executive potential young managers in the future, all being a part of this whole social movement, and being a part of that and learning and instill that kind of values in them. I think that you're building a wonderful culture in the organization as well. So I think that, working with some of your staff as well, I see that they're actually really into it, they're very passionate, and it's something that they can give back, but at the same time there's a lot they can take with them as well. So
yeah, I'd agree, and certainly speaking with Vicky, who's been dealing with your brochure and designs, and Louise, I know that both of those have been touched by the story and been working with you. So in our small way, it's our hope that our young team that we have get a broader vision of other things going on in the world and what's being achieved by people like yourself and Koto and what the kids here that are achieving.
Yeah, I think through you guys is we're expanding our network into because ICT and technology and all that kind of stuff. We're so, and living in Southeast Asia, we're so behind, and to be able to have that kind of expertise will give us access to more people, which more helps and which gets towards sustainability. So thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. It's been it's a really good start to the story, and I think this is just the first chapter of us working together.
Yeah.